You're watching Good Morning Utah with Brian Carlson, Sarah Martin, and Adam Carroll.
Welcome back, Utah. Let's go to Mars. Big news today on the Red Planet.
Yeah, NASA's new rover Perseverance expected to land on Mars this afternoon. Now, NASA's got big plans for the rover, but it's facing some even bigger risks. ABC's Megan Tevrizian explains.
This morning, one giant leap toward finding out if there was life on Mars.
Ignition 2, 1, and liftoff.
NASA's Perseverance scheduled to land on the Red Planet today in one of their most ambitious missions yet.
We've been thinking about the possibility of life on other planets for hundreds of years now, and this is our first opportunity to perhaps find it.
The rover, after traveling 300 million miles in 7 months, will touch down on an ancient lake called Jezero, a site where ancient life may have been best preserved.
Based on everything we know about that environment, it was habitable. Life should have been there. So I think we are very optimistic. I'm very optimistic.
The most dangerous part of the mission begins when the rover enters Mars's atmosphere, a period known as the 7 minutes of terror.
We call it the 7 minutes of terror because it takes approximately 7 minutes for the spacecraft to make it from the top of the Martian atmosphere to safely wheels on the ground. But it's terrifying because the spacecraft has to manage that descent stage all by itself.
It will all unfold as NASA is left in the dark with a 12-minute communication delay, meaning Perseverance will have to navigate on its own.
Space is hard. When I started this work, over 65% of all the missions that went to Mars had failed, had ended in disaster.
The mission behind the $2.7 billion landing is to collect rock samples and bring them back to Earth to look for signs of microbial life.
If we find evidence of life on Mars, then we're going to realize that we're a bigger part of the life story. It's not just an Earth story, it's a universe story.
Perseverance, roughly the size of a car, is the 5th and most advanced rover NASA has sent to Mars. Megan Tevrizian, ABC News, San Diego.
It's pretty wild the science they have to do to be able to make that work.
Amazing.
Not
That
wild?
like 7 minutes of terror.
Oh, yeah.
I'm terrified for them. I'm not involved. Terrified for them.
You just imagine when we get to that point where we're sending people to Mars. It's like, all right, we're approaching our 7 minutes of terror. Just stay back in your right-hand side.
Ooh.
Everything should be
We'll have to
just
change the name. We'll need a PR move
Right.
for that one.
Yeah. Right. You can watch that today actually happen live. ABC News is live streaming it on their channel starting at 1:30 this afternoon.
That'll be awesome.
Pretty awesome. Yeah.
And real quick, don't forget, we want to see your baby pictures. So send in your photos, your kids, your grandkids, and celebrate with us right here. Send them into news@abc4.com and put in the subject line, baby birthdays.
All right, Adam, how's the weather?
Well, you know what? In St. George, it's wonderful. Hey, you're going to 70 by next week.
Nice.
Everybody's heading to St. George. Actually, I don't think the people in St. George would want thousands of them heading down there. But very, very nice weather. Quiet, mild conditions for the Wasatch Front. We'll have still some spotty snow showers that have led to some slick area roadways here across the Salt Lake Valley today. More snow showers are likely tomorrow, but in terms of accumulating snow, that will actually come on Saturday and will more or less stay on the chilly side over the weekend before we warm back up here as we head into the next week time frame when we're into the 50s. But guys, right now out there, not a whole lot going on traffic-wise, so it looks pretty good.
All right, nice. It is February 18th. We've got some national days for you today. It's National Drink Wine Day. Maybe you need a break after all that snow. Have some wine.
You have permission today.
Yeah, National Crab Stuffed Flounder Day.
Oh,
Feels
yeah.
so random and delicious. I don't think I've ever had this, but I want to. National Battery Day. This is like a great reminder to check the batteries in like your safety kits, your emergency kits, the flashlights in your side tables, you know, especially after all this snow. Emergencies happen. Emergencies are real. Check your batteries.
Pick up a couple extra for your remote.
Yeah.
If you're sick
There
indoors,
you
you
go.
know.
Yeah.
You don't want to get off that couch if you don't have to.
Well, I got to tell you, when you have toddlers, everything works on double D's or D's or A, triple A's. It doesn't matter. You got to have a whole selection of them.
Right?
Trip to Costco today.
You've got like you open up your jacket, you're like, what do you need right here? I got a C,
Yep,
I got a D.
That's right.
I got the 9-volt right here.
Some double A's in my car.
The time 5:56. Top stories working on for Good Morning Utah at 6. Record snow came down at the Salt Lake Airport. See how much of yesterday's wintry mix affected travelers.
Plus, that record snowfall made for a messy commute, wrecking hundreds of cars. How soon drivers could get those cars fixed. Now on JMU at 6, our winter storm still breaking records this morning. How the snow stacked up at the Salt Lake City airport.
And that snow contributing to hundreds of crashes on Utah's roads. If your car is one of them, hear how long it could take to fix it.
Good morning. All that snowfall forcing Little Cottonwood Canyon to close. Alta ski area under a record-breaking interlodge. Coming up, we are live with more on current conditions.
Plus, we'll talk about that avalanche risk and also your day in general, as it's going to be a lot quieter around here in Utah's most accurate forecast.
Live from Utah's first TV station, Good Morning Utah at 6 starts now.
Good morning, Utah. I'm Brian Carlson.
And I'm Sarah Martin. It is 6 a.m. this Thursday.
For the third day in a row, Little Cottonwood Canyon is closed for avalanche danger. The situation putting the town of Alta under an interlodge order to stay indoors. ABC4's Jared Giaccinini live there at the mouth of Little Cottonwood Canyon with when everything should be back to normal. Jared?
Well, Brian, no timeline as of now, but take a look behind us. Little Cottonwood Canyon closed this morning. We have law enforcement agencies blocking off the mouth of the canyon. Cars that might be heading up this way to, say, ski being turned around, you can see here. Now, this is a record-breaking interlodge for Alta ski area. One, I'm not sure that they want to be breaking, but take a look. We have some numbers right now, 6 a.m. This interlodge has been in effect for about 56 hours. Last year, Alta reporting a record-breaking interlodge at 52 hours. So breaking records here this morning. Now, right now, crews are working on avalanche mitigation to safely reopen all that snow that fell, creating some dangerous conditions. Alta ski area working with UDOT to trigger avalanches. Residents, visitors, skiers, and staff cannot wait this interlodge out inside of their car. Everyone must be inside of a building. Now, typically residents can wait out the interlodge at Goldsmith's Lodge, but due to COVID, the lodge is closed, and UDOT worked very hard to get those who didn't have a place to stay off of the canyon.
The road closed for 2 days and they were interlodged, and that's a rare occurrence. So it's kind of rare we're seeing it happen again this year.
And this is very dangerous work. This footage from the Utah Department of Transportation showing two vehicles who were staged here for mitigation work yesterday hit by a natural slide. Thankfully, no injuries to report. Back out here live again, law enforcement still blocking off the mouth of Little Cottonwood Canyon. This interlodge at Alta ski area has been in effect for about 56 hours, one of the longest to happen in that city. If you do not, in that town rather, if you don't follow this order, the marshal is out ticketing folks. And again, officials plan to reevaluate this current interlodge sometime this morning. But because this is closed, the ski up here is closed, it's causing major delays at Big Cottonwood Canyon. So be mindful this morning if you plan on heading out to any of the canyon resorts. Live, Jared Giaccinini, ABC4 News.
All right, thank you, Jared. The Salt Lake City International Airport, record snow totals yesterday, 11.7 inches of snow. It was one of the top 10 snowiest days at the airport ever. The airport canceled 43 flights, delayed several more. Passengers flying in and out told us they knew the snow was coming. They just wanted to get where they're going as quickly as possible.
It's a little bumming. It bums you out a little bit. It kind of puts a halt on your plans for the day. Your whole anticipation for the day is now askew.
I'm a little more uptight. I'm trying to get there early. I'm anticipating that there can always be delays of some type.
The snowiest day ever at the airport was back in 1908. 14 inches fell.
And AAA Utah says if you're one of those hundreds of drivers who wrecked your car in yesterday's storm, you may be waiting 2 weeks or more to get it fixed. The Utah Highway Patrol says since the beginning of our storms, they've responded to more than 700 crashes. Insurance companies currently trying to catch up with all those claims, which may delay how soon you can fix your car.
It really varies depending on how busy a shop is, for how long you'll be able to get your vehicle back to you, especially after inclement weather events.
Now, you may also want to check your rental car coverage with your insurance company. If you have it, for example, ask how long you can use the rental. Sometimes that may show how long your car may be in the shop.
All right, let's get a check of our weather today. Adam Carroll, lots of residual effects from yesterday's storm.
Yep.
Anything lingering in our weather?
Just a little bit of snow shower activity here for the Salt Lake Valley. But Sarah, yeah, 14 inches. We just talked about it. 1908, biggest ever. Yesterday was the 7th biggest ever.
Ooh.
At 11.7. If you look at the top four here, We were pretty close. I thought we might see a little bit more yesterday that maybe put us in the top 5, but we ended up at just 11.7 well, I mean, that's a foot. It's still a lot for the airport. And, you know, the one thing about Salt Lake City is they have changed their observation sites 3 times since 1874. For a while it was downtown, then they went to the Municipal Airport 2, and then they went to the Salt Lake International here for the last several decades. But that's when we are talking about Salt Lake City, we're talking about as a whole, those 3 areas when you combine them. 101 inches, though, in the last 7 days at Alta. Incredible snowfall out there, but that has led to extreme avalanche danger here for those mountains around Alta, also for the Salt Lake area mountains, for all slopes of all elevations. It is an incredible time to be in the backcountry in terms of how dangerous it is, not how incredible the snow is. Storm tracker, though, still shows some spotty snow showers here or there, especially here, maybe along the Sandy Draper side of things. Temperatures outside are in the teens and 20s with some single digits out there as well. If you're looking to head out the door this morning, you're going to be in the low 20s under mostly cloudy skies around Salt Lake. Next winter storm arrives late tonight with some snow, and then eventually we'll see some rain late tomorrow night. Just a few accidents and incidents still out there, but they're very minor, if not being cleared up. Let's get a little bit closer to our Parley's Canyon area. Also for Big Cottonwood Canyon, not too bad in terms of what we're seeing out there. We'll talk more about snow totals coming up, guys.
All right, thank you much, Adam. A deadly rollover crash yesterday shut down a major connector for hours in Salt Lake City. This happened during yesterday's storm on the on-ramp from northbound I-15 to westbound I-80. The Utah High Patrol says a woman driving on the freeway crossed the median, rolled, and got ejected from her car. A man and 2 kids also in the car were not hurt in that crash.
Semi-trucks had a hard time in all that snow yesterday, especially up Parley's Canyon. Truckers say they train for this. They know when to just pull off the road and wait it out. But one driver told us even with the training, weather like this is humbling.
Earlier today, it was crazy. In the morning, I got real close to my maker a few times. Well, when you have to chain up, you got to chain up, like this morning.
UDOT says 12,000 semi-trucks go through Parley's Canyon every single day.
And we know the snow forced schools and businesses yesterday to change their plans. We spoke to the Canyon School District about their decision to cancel classes in person. Although the district closed their 44 school buildings, students still participated in classes online. A district spokesperson says because they're now capable of doing learning from home, it's helped enable teachers and students to smoothly pivot to online learning on days just like yesterday.
In our minds, there's nothing that replaces that face-to-face instruction, but we also have learned a lot about how we can use technology.
Now, under new State Board of Education rules, Utah school districts are allowed to use snow days as remote learning days. And the recent winter weather is delaying COVID-19 vaccines in southern Utah, but not from the storms you'd think of. The Southwest Utah Public Health Department says vaccines intended for today's immunization clinic have been delayed from severe weather out of state. Today's clinics have been canceled, and the health department is now contacting people to reschedule.
In Southwest Utah, health teams say vaccinations way behind, so they're actually opening up more vaccine sites. More than 5,000 appointments went online yesterday morning, scheduled for the first 3 weeks of March. Health teams there worried the elderly are being left behind in this race to vaccinate.
We're estimating that we probably haven't even reached half of the amount of our 70-plus seniors that want to get vaccinated. We so far have given over 20,000 first-shot vaccines in our district. That includes all the priority groups.
To get an appointment in southwestern Utah, go to swuhealth.org and click on your county.
All right, let's update you now on our vaccines and coronavirus cases across the state. Utah had 901 new cases yesterday. That brings our state total to 363,000. 551,000 Utahns have received the vaccine. 263 COVID patients are currently being treated in Utah hospitals, and 10 more Utahns have died, for a total of 1,806. You look at our last 7 days, you see our daily case totals popping up. Right now, we're averaging 845 new cases a day. That's the green line on your screen. Our testing positivity rate, that keeps dropping too. It's now down to 13.5%.
New this morning, the CDC has Utah tied for last place for lowest vaccination rates in the country. You can see Utah right here in light green, showing that low vaccination rate. Utah and Georgia tied at 9.8% of our population have gotten at least one dose. 3.7% of people here have gotten a second dose in Utah versus 3.8% in Georgia. Alaska actually has the highest rate of vaccination with 17.9% of people there getting at least one dose.
And new this morning, doctors across the country seeing more kids sick with a rare side effect of COVID-19, and conditions are only getting more severe. The condition is called multisystem inflammatory syndrome in children, or MIS-C. The CDC is reporting roughly 2,000 cases here in the U.S. with 30 deaths. While the numbers may seem low, the symptoms are becoming more severe, and doctors don't know why. Right now, the nation's first long-term study on that syndrome being conducted at Primary Children's Hospital here in Utah.
Happening today, we'll get an update from Governor Cox on Utah's COVID crisis, vaccination progress. That press conference begins at 10 a.m. We'll cover that conference live, both on air and online at abc4.com. Now to an update on a story we brought you back in May involving the death of George Floyd and a Kaysville police officer. That officer's wife accused of posting to social media supporting the death of Floyd at the hands of police. Her husband was temporarily suspended from the department over that racist post. The latest update now, Kaysville police say they've investigated and found someone targeted this officer's wife. That person has a history of hacking and impersonating people online. Police say there's no indication the officer or his wife had any involvement with the racist post, any other racist actions. The officer now welcome back to the department full time.
And despite the pandemic dropping our life expectancy, Utahns are doing a lot to save lives. Utah organ donors are creating moments like this. According to Donor Connect, a record-breaking 62% of Utahns who either renewed or received a driver's license or a state ID card last year checked yes to organ, eye, and tissue donation. To learn how you can register, visit our website at abc4.com.
6:11 coming up now on Good Morning Utah. The push to get people vaccinated in Salt Lake County. How you can make sure you get your dose. Coming up in a live interview. And retail sales soared last month. What spurred those shopping sprees? Coming up in your Good Morning Utah business report.
Time now for your weather on the fours.
All right, let's check your weather on the fours, Adam. We love the snow, but just not all at once.
Well, that's true. I guess it's a little give and take, right? We do love it and all at once, but then sometimes, like yesterday, no, we don't. Because look what happened. The commute, avalanches, the whole shebang going on.
We like it when we get to make up for lost time here. We just like it when you get it all on the road right there and all the crashes we get from it, and then on the avalanches we get out of it.
My goodness.
It'd be nice if we got more of a slow drip than a big pounding.
True, but our snowpack's looking great. I just looked at it. We're going to have some numbers coming up here before the end of the morning. So that'll be nice to see because some areas saw 40% increases in snowpack because of this last storm cycle, like in the Tooele Basin. That's phenomenal. 58 inches, though, from Monday to Tuesday at Wednesday at Alta. Summit Park saw over 2 feet. Near that in Suncrest, Alpine 20 inches, Cottonwood Heights 19. Near that in Upper Mill Creek, 15 about South Salt Lake. Very, very nice healthy totals out there. Excellent to see. 9 degrees right now in Logan, but 24 in Salt Lake, 32 St. George. And between those numbers, you're looking at teens and 20s for the rest of the Wasatch Front, as you can see here, because it's 19 in Tooele, just 1 degrees in Heber, and 2 in Park City. It is a frigid start over there, but it's also a little bit on the clear skies with a lot more snow on the ground, too. 25 at 9 a.m. here across the Wasatch Front, 32 at noon, and 35 at 3. Just staying cold. Any snow showers this morning are going to come to an end before the sunrise, so we're pretty much winding it down now. Beaver Mountain, though, look in that. We're seeing some snowfall here up at Beaver Mountain. It's very light. Not going to see a whole lot in the way of accumulation, but still makes for a nice shot. Storm system's on the way. It's going to take all day to get here. High pressure for now is going to be in control. We still have some more or less some low clouds across portions of the Wasatch Front, while others are in the clear, which is why you're a little bit on the colder side in those spots, like in Logan and the Wasatch back. But as we head through time, just a quiet day out there, high pressure and control. But look at that, 8, 9, 10 o'clock tonight. That next storm system comes into eastern Nevada, brings some snow to Ely, Elko, maybe even a little bit to Wendover, and then it moves into far northern Utah later in the early overnight hours, and then during the commute time, we're going to see some snow showers out there. That'll make for some more slick conditions for sure, and not what we just had in terms of the commute, but you still will want to give yourself some extra time because we're going to have it, maybe some problems up in the Cache Valley area, maybe Wasatch back, Parleys yet again tomorrow, and that will continue, at least the snow will, for the mountains for a good portion of the day. Then we have a cold front that comes through, but it's not much of a cold front because it's still going to keep us on the warmer side of things as temperatures go up throughout the day, and it will bring in a round of rain and snow to our valleys and all snow for our mountains, so we'll be more or less mixing here into the overnight hours before we switch back to snow with a disturbance that rides into the area with more lake-enhanced snow for the Wasatch Front, and that will bleed into places like Nephi as we progress through the day. So 30s and 40s out there for most, 53 St. George. And you're 62 tomorrow, 61 Saturday, dry and very warm next week at 70 for the first time since November 20th. Some snow showers tomorrow, then a break most of the day, then rain, snow tomorrow night, then snow on Saturday, a break for several days until about midweek, and we'll warm at that point in time. Very little going on right now in traffic. What a difference a day makes in traffic because of there's no really snow on the ground and there's just some slick conditions. But those 2 incidents are pretty much all cleared up. Along the Salt Lake Valley, you can see just mainly wet roads from I-80 over to I-215 and Bangerter. Also are in and around the Salt Lake City downtown area looking okay as well. So drive times here, Park City, pretty much normal compared to 90 minutes yesterday. Also Provo and Ogden.
Let's talk the COVID-19 vaccine. We are elbows deep in our state's biggest, most involved health effort ever to combat this virus. So far, 551,000 doses have found their way into Utah arms. Vaccines are available at this point for people 70 and older, healthcare workers, first responders, educators, and people who live in or work in long-term care facilities. But that list is growing very soon. More people will be eligible to get a dose beginning March 1st. Joining me today to tell us more, talk about the latest in vaccines in Utah, Dr. Audrey Stevenson, the Director of Family Health at the Salt Lake County Health Department. Good morning, Dr. Stevenson. Thank you so much for your time.
Good morning.
Can we start with yesterday's snowstorm? Have those snowstorm caused any snags or delays for you guys?
It most certainly has. We've noticed that a number of our health districts around the state have had delays in their vaccine arrival, and so as a result of that, many of the appointments that individuals had for yesterday and today had to be canceled.
Okay, got it. Can you talk to me about the response there? Some of those are being rescheduled for this weekend. Some are just being pushed back. Is that right?
That's correct. In part due to the weather yesterday, many of our health districts had to cancel many of our events. For many of us, we've rescheduled those either to this weekend or to early next week.
Okay, and I understand health departments are communicating with people mostly via email, so we just want people to make sure they check their emails for those rescheduled appointments.
That's correct, or call your local health department for more information.
Moving forward here, can we transition to the list of people eligible for the vaccine? I understand the people eligible expanding March 1st. What can you tell us about this point about who will be eligible beginning in March?
Well, we're anxious to hear the same thing. We understand that there's going to be a press conference from the governor later this morning. And at that time, we will probably get more definitive information about who's upcoming in that next priority group.
Okay.
Right now, we're focused on making sure that we've offered the vaccine to all of those individuals in those prior priority groups. And that also that we're really focusing in these last few days on those 70 plus, because we know that we have not reached all of those individuals that are currently eligible to receive the vaccine. Moving forward, we anticipate that we'll probably see the next priority group to be those 65 years of age and older.
Understood. So we'll be getting more information about those eligible in today's press conference with the governor.
That's correct.
Okay. So 65 and older, we've heard rumblings that means some health limitations, but we're not sure what those are yet. Does more people, so expanding that eligibility, mean more supply? Are the number of doses we're getting weekly going up?
That's what we're hearing from the federal government. Is we're hearing that, especially with the introduction of additional doses that have been ordered both from the Pfizer and the Moderna, but we're also hearing that Johnson & Johnson, with that emergency use authorization, may increase the number of vaccines available for us for distribution. We look forward to that.
Okay. And Johnson & Johnson, again, has emergency use authorization from the World Health Organization, not yet from the FDA. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. We saw significant challenges scheduling an appointment at the beginning of this process. What have you guys done to respond to those challenges? How do you want people to go about snagging an appointment now?
So moving forward, many of our health districts have anticipated that there has been large demand, and in many cases more demand than there have been appointments available. Moving forward, at least in Salt Lake County, we're introducing a new scheduling system in the anticipation that we may be able to refine that process and make it easier for individuals to be able to get an appointment moving forward.
Okay. So really the message there is patience, unfortunately.
Correct.
Okay. Dr. Audrey Stevenson, the Director of Family Health at the Salt Lake County Health Department. Thank you so much for being with us this morning. Appreciate your time.
My pleasure. Thank you.
The time 6:22. Up next on GMU, a bill looking to ban transgender athletes from Utah girls sports. Hear what critics of the bill are saying as that bill keeps moving forward. And students could soon take mental health days at Utah schools. Hear how easily that bill breezed through the state legislature.
Time now for your weather on the 4s.
Welcome to your weather on the 4s, and we're looking at a cold day out there today, especially since we're only going to be in the mid-30s, and this is almost 10 degrees below average here for Salt Lake City. But overall, it's 30s and 40s for much of the state. We're going to see some sunshine as well, especially as you head farther south. Look at all the sun in St. George for the next 7 days. And into the 60s we go for a majority of these days, while we stay dry and, like I mentioned, we stay on the sunnier side of things. But for the Wasatch Front, any morning snow showers are coming to an end right now, but it is creating some slick roadways. So keep that in mind. And then we'll have some more snow showers tomorrow morning, a break most of the day, then some rain showers for most valley locations tomorrow night, some snow on Saturday, then a quieter into the weekend and beyond that with a 52 on Tuesday. But there are nothing out there in terms of incidents or accidents to report. This time yesterday, we had about 30 of them, so it's great to see this. You're seeing Kearns Boulevard in Park City. You're also seeing Parley Summit, Devil's Slide area of I-84, up into Evanston if you're heading that way. Everything looks wonderful in terms of your traveling, which is why if you need to go to Park City, no problems this morning along the I-15 corridor as well, and even for Bangor Highway. How about that, guys? Not too bad.
Looking pretty good. Thanks, Adam. Now to the 2021 legislative session. A few lawmakers are looking to limit executive powers in a time of emergency like a pandemic. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the executive branches faced some scrutiny over decisions they've made. Senate Bill 195 would rein in some of the authority there and increase the role of the legislature in that decision-making process.
We didn't have checks. We didn't have a process for the public to weigh in a good way. And obviously they were weighing in on social media, but that's not a very efficient way to weigh in with, with legislators.
The Senate, House, and Governor's office have all been working together on this bill.
Another bill moving forward targeting Utah's transgender athletes. House Bill 302 effectively bans transgender girls from playing on female sports teams in Utah public schools. The bill's sponsor says transgender girls have an unfair advantage. Those opposed to the bill say the idea is misguided and damaging to children transgender, intersex, or gender nonconforming. The bill now moves on to the Senate.
And new this morning, Senate lawmakers approved a bill that would allow Utah students to take a mental health day from school. House Bill 81 would consider a mental health day as a valid excuse for an absence, just like a sick day. The bill passed with unanimous support and little debate. It's moving to the governor's desk for final approval. Also new this morning, a bill that would increase punishments for rioters passed a committee. According to the Deseret News, Senate Bill 138 would toughen penalties on rioters while drawing a clearer distinction for when a protest crosses the line into a violent or destructive riot. That bill is heading to the Senate for consideration.
The time now is 6:28. Still ahead on GMU. Little Cottonwood Canyon closed for the third day in a row. You're looking live at the mouth of the canyon this morning. See how Little Cottonwood's avalanche danger is breaking records in a live report. Plus, the Paycheck Protection Program hitting a new milestone. Hear how much money that program has now paid out and how Utah businesses can still get some in a live interview. As we head to the break, here's a live look outside. Beautiful shot here as we're waking up on a Thursday morning. Your weather on the 4s when we come back.
Live from Utah's first TV station, Good Morning Utah at 6:30 starts now.
Good morning, Utah. I'm Sarah Martin.
And I'm Brian Carlson. The time, 6:30 here on this Thursday.
For the third day in a row, Little Cottonwood Canyon closed for avalanche danger. The situation putting the town of Alta under an interlodge order to stay indoors. ABC4's Jared Jatnini, he's live at the mouth of Little Cottonwood Canyon when everything should be back to normal. Jared.
Sarah, well, no timeline yet this morning, but take a look behind us. Little Cottonwood Canyon blocked off. You see emergency crews here turning folks around. We just had a traffic jam here this morning. A big rig was trying to get up the canyon to what appeared to make a delivery and had to be turned around. There was a little bit of congestion here, but all that snowfall up there is creating slick conditions. We heard the trooper telling drivers that there's about 15 feet of snow on the roadway in some parts of this area from natural or triggered slides. Now, Alta ski area breaking records this morning. I'm not sure if they want to be, but so far this interlodge has been in effect for about 56 hours. We have some numbers. So far, this is the longest interlodge in recent history. Last year in 2020, Alta reported a 52-hour interlodge. So we don't see any signs of this interlodge being lifted anytime soon. So breaking yet again another record. Right now, crews are on avalanche mitigation to hopefully safely reopen Alta ski area, working with the Utah Department of Transportation to trigger avalanches. Residents, visitors, skiers, and staff not allowed to wait out this interlodge inside a car. Everyone must be inside of a building. Typically, folks who don't have a place to stay can go to the Smith's Lodge, but due to COVID, that lodge is closed. So back on Monday and throughout this process, UDOT has been working very hard to get folks off of the canyon who don't have a place to stay.
They are doing avalanche control mitigation across the town of Alta, so we have to keep everyone safe inside. You can't be out in your car. You can't even if you walk out the door, you can't even walk to your car to grab anything. You have to stay inside the building.
Very dangerous work. Take a look at this footage from UDOT. You can see two vehicles who were staged up on the canyon for mitigation work yesterday hit by a natural slide. You can see their cars there. Just incredible, covered with snow. Thankfully, no injuries to report. Back out here live again. The mouth of Little Cottonwood Canyon is closed as all of this fresh snowfall over the course of this storm still impacting travel. Folks who are up in that area who are not abiding by this interlodge will be cited by the marshal that is up there. No timeline as to when this interlodge will be lifted, but officials expect to reevaluate things later this morning. Now, all the ski areas up there obviously closed, so creating a lot of backup up Big Cottonwood Canyon because we still have, outdoor enthusiasts who want to take advantage of all this fresh snow. So this being closed really going to create some backups at Big Cottonwood Canyon later this morning. So be mindful if you plan on heading out to any of the canyon ski areas this morning. Live, Jared Jatnini, ABC4 News.
All right, thank you, Jared. The Salt Lake International Airport hit a new snow record yesterday, 11.7 inches. Top 10 snowiest days at the airport ever. The airport canceled 43 flights, delayed several more. Passengers flying in told us they knew the snow was coming. They just wanted to get where they were going as quickly as possible.
It's a little bumming. It bums you out a little bit. It kind of puts a halt on your plans for the day. Your whole anticipation for the day is now askew.
I'm a little more uptight. I'm trying to get there early. I'm anticipating that there can always be delays of some type.
The snowiest day ever at the airport was back in 1908 with 14 inches.
And AAA Utah says if you're one of those hundreds of drivers who wrecked your car in yesterday's storm, you may be waiting 2 weeks or more to get it fixed. The Utah Highway Patrol says since the beginning of our storms, they've responded to more than 700 crashes. Insurance companies are currently trying to catch up with all those claims, which may delay how soon you can fix your car.
It really varies depending on how busy a shop is, for how long you'll be able to get your vehicle back to you, especially after inclement weather events.
You may also want to check your rental car coverage with your insurance company. If you have rental coverage, ask how long you can use the rental. Sometimes that may show how long your car may be in the shop.
Let's get a check of our weather. Adam Carroll, today totally different than yesterday.
Good, because yesterday tracking all those traffic accidents was not fun. And
much better driving to work.
Well, that's true. And unfortunately for all those drivers, hopefully you can get your cars back faster than we're anticipating, right? But 101 inches, Sarah, has fallen at Alta from February 10th to the 17th, with half of that, actually over half of that, in the last couple of days here. So it has been an amazing stretch of weather for our mountains, and this is across the board from Alta, Brighton, Snow Basin, and Park City Mountains. You all got very good snowfall total amounts. Salt Lake area, though, we're still dealing with that extreme avalanche danger. One reason why the Cottonwood Canyons remain closed, or Little Cottonwood Canyon remains closed, they're still fighting the avalanche mitigations out there. Everybody else in northern Utah is high, considerable here across southeastern Utah, and even the southwestern mountains are on the high side. But we're still seeing very spotty snow showers here, especially along the east benches of Salt Lake, where the mountains picked up a couple more inches overnight. But overall, it's going to just create some slick area roadways, so keep that in mind, especially the secondary non-treated roads. There's some ice as well out there. 7 in Evanston, 6 Rock Springs, 2 in Ely, but it's teens and 20s is what we're getting for today, as a lot of clear skies are out there. But around Salt Lake, it's a little bit on the mostly cloudy side of things. You'll want to drive safe because there is a little bit of slick conditions, but we also have a winter storm later tonight that's going to bring in a little bit of snow here to the area that we're going to break down in the full forecast. But we are seeing now a few more accidents here on our traffic map popping up. There is one across far northern Utah, but here around Sardine, Logan, Brigham City, and then the accident here at I-84, I-15. You can kind of see the cars in the distance here. What does that mean going up to Tremont and Malad? Well, not too bad. Just a couple minutes longer than normal. And same thing goes for Sardine Canyon.
We know COVID-19 has hurt many small businesses, but we keep seeing positive signs of recovery. For example, just last week, more than 1.3 million businesses received over $104 billion in Paycheck Protection funding. And those loans could be a deciding factor in whether a business can survive. So if you're a business who still needs some of that money, Andrew Wittenberg from the Salt Lake City Department of Economic Development joins us now with how you can take advantage. Andrew, before we get into that, did you survive the big snowstorm we had yesterday?
Yeah, we made it, Brian. Good to see you this morning. We made it through. Thankfully, still telecommuting, teleworking from home right now. So we were able to get out early in the morning, shovel the driveway, and watch the snowfall. So we made it through just fine. Thanks.
If your biggest worry is shoveling the driveway, you made it out A-OK yesterday.
That's right. Yeah, thankfully we didn't have to get out too early in the morning.
Now, we mentioned the Paycheck Protection Program has now paid out $100 billion. It seems like this is working for businesses that need it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big milestone, and a lot of folks, particularly Utah businesses, Salt Lake City businesses, have applied for and received the second round here of PPP. You'll recall that program was highly successful last year in getting businesses the resources, the money they needed to get through the pandemic for at least some of the year. And now that it's back in play again early this year, we're seeing a lot of businesses take advantage once again. So the good news here, it sounds like a lot of money, $100 billion. The good news is there's still about 2/3 of that pot of money from the federal government left to disperse. So if you are a small business or know someone who runs a small business or entrepreneur that's looking for resources, we're hearing about vaccination plans and things easing and hopefully a light at the end of the tunnel. But right now we're seeing there's still resources available, about $220 billion left in that PPP fund that businesses can apply for right now.
And you think that money is left simply because that's saying that there are businesses out there who still need it, or it's showing that businesses are being able to recover on their own?
Well, it's probably a little bit of a mix of both. We do believe there is still a significant need, and a lot of folks, it takes time to go through the process. With you're working with your lender for the first time, or you're identifying a lender that can help you apply for the PPP, that can lead to a little bit of a lag time in getting those monies approved. And you'll recall, I believe it was $50 billion was the first PPP allotment early last year that went in just a matter of a few days. This is a significant portion of money, a large bucket for businesses to use. And so I think that's why it's taking a little bit longer, but they do anticipate that this will eventually be accounted for. But it is a potentially good sign that businesses aren't jumping on this maybe as quickly as they could. However, the notion is still there that it is a forgivable loan from the federal government in that PPP that businesses, if they're used for the appropriate purposes for their business, can actually forgive that loan and have it forgiven.
So there's good signs for the economy. I know your department is growing as well.
Yeah, for sure. And the one quick thing I also wanted to mention on that, the employee retention credit, it's almost tax season. The employee retention credit is also another one that you'll want to talk with your accountants about. That's another piece of this new round of federal funding. But you're right, the department is growing. We have 2 positions right now actually in the city that we're really excited about talking about. We're hiring a deputy director as well as a chief equity officer in the city. And those positions will be crucial in both not just helping us function day to day, but also in our economic recovery from the city. A couple of positions there that we encourage folks to apply for if you're interested. slc.gov is the website, and we look forward to meeting some interesting candidates.
And is that the same place they can go to be able to find more information about how to get some of that money if you're a business who still needs it?
Sure, at slc.gov/ed, we have all those resources up there on our COVID-19 resources page. It's a really great place to just get started and find the path. If you have questions, certainly always reach out to us there.
There you go. Andrew Wittenberg with the Salt Lake City Department of Economic Development. As always, Andrew, pleasure talking to you this morning.
Good to see you, Brian.
6:41 now, coming up on Good Morning Utah. 2 years ago, the world watched while the Notre Dame Cathedral burned. CO architects from the United States are helping restore the landmark. Plus, the key players in the GameStop controversy will testify before Congress today who's going to take the stage. As we head out to the break, here's a look outside Colonial Flag Tower camera. Salt Lake City, a much quieter, less snowy place this morning. We'll have your weather on the 4s when we come back.
Time now for Utah's most accurate forecast with Adam Carroll, weather rate certified 9 years in a row.
All right, let's check your weather. Adam, it's nice we're getting a break today.
Well, But it's snowbird? Because it's still snowing up there.
Yeah, I guess depends on where you live, doesn't it?
My goodness, it's not stopping up there. Those poor UDOT workers trying to keep up with that road, and it still is coming down, Brian, and we still don't have an ETA on this thing. So this is what, if you're looking at it during the daytime, you're looking straight up at the Little Cloud area, which is pretty much at the top of snowbird at 11,000 feet, but it is still coming down up there. Now, Alta here from Monday to Wednesday saw 58 inches, 25 inches in Summit Park, 22 Suncrest, 20 Alpine, 19 inches in Cottonwood Heights. Alper Mill Creek saw near that, near 15 in South Salt Lake, 14 Bountiful and in Sandy, Bountiful Bench in Sandy. And because of all the snow, that's what our snow cover looks like now. This is so nice to see because we were looking meager for months and months out there. Now we're really piling up the snow. And what is that doing for our snowpack? What did this week do for our snowpack? Well, we went from the mid-60s here just about a week and a half ago to 80% of the state is now doing much better with regards to snowpack. Look at the Tooele area, also around the Dirty Devil area as well. But all these numbers have gone up. Really, it's southwestern Utah that is struggling the most, but phenomenal numbers to see just because of how bad we were. 15 or teens and 20s out there with a few single digits. Coldest spot though, Ely at 2. Now for the kids, not for the least along the Wasatch Front, not 2 degrees, but 25 at 9 a.m., 32 at noon. We'll have some sunshine in the midday hour, and then we'll start clouding up again because we've got a new storm system on the way heading into the west coast right now. High pressure, though, in control currently. That's going to keep us dry, quiet, but cold out there today. And I mentioned the clouds will eventually start rolling in as well. And as they do, here comes our next storm system. And that will come right on into eastern Nevada tonight into early tomorrow. It will bring in some rain and snow showers to the west deserts, but it should be all snow, at least snow shower-wise, for the Wasatch Front and northern Utah areas. As we head into the afternoon, we'll have a break in the precipitation until very late tomorrow night. So after well, I guess you could call it a snowy start, but it's more of some light snow showers out there. Then we'll end up getting back into some rain for valleys and snow for our mountains before we get snow for our valleys on Saturday. But overall, 30s and 40s here across the board. 53, though, in St. George. Plenty of sunshine, though, as well, farther south. And we're going to keep the sunshine around St. George moving forward, and that 70-degree mark on Tuesday is so nice. And it's also the first time since November 20th that we've been 70 or warmer. For the Wasatch Front, any scattered spotty snow showers here across the Salt Lake Valley are really coming to an end right now. We'll see some more snow showers rolling into the area tomorrow morning, might make for some more slick travel. Then we'll go to rain late tomorrow night, then snow on Saturday, and that will accumulate, actually, thanks to the lake again. But out there right now in terms of traffic flow, not a whole lot going on, a few incidents here and there. We do have one up in the I-84, I-15 interchange, but it is not doing much in the way of affecting traffic. Getting in a little bit closer, though, to places like the west side of the Salt Lake Valley, Mountain View and Daybreak Parkway looking just fine. Out in Urda, near Tooele is looking A-okay. Also, this is the Mountain View and I guess the UT 68 interchange there, heading towards Eagle Mountain, looks okay as well. And so looking here for pretty much your drive times across the board are looking okay moving forward. But you're going to want to stick around on the CW for 7 a.m. and till 8 a.m. because we got more news, weather, and traffic, guys.
All right, thanks so much, Adam. Time now for news around the world. Scientists at Cambridge have dropped all of their other research and are now leading the United Kingdom's efforts to study COVID-19 variants. The UK variant, famously much more contagious and caused a second and third lockdown in the UK. Doctors now believe it is more deadly. This new research could help doctors find new ways to fight variants. We're getting a look this morning at the massive restoration project for the Notre Cathedral. Nearly 2 years after fire tore apart that landmark in Paris, France. Crews now using sketches from an American architect to rebuild the roof of that building. The stained glass windows survived somehow, and the church organ, amazingly, not touched in the fire. Architects say the goal here is to have the roof fixed before Paris holds the Olympics in 2024. In Russia, scientists discovered the oldest DNA on record in a mammoth, the ancestor of the woolly mammoth. They discovered the DNA by extracting the molars of these giant animals that roamed north northeast Siberia up to 1.2 million years ago. Look at that big old tusk. Scientists say the new research broadens the horizons for understanding extinct species. That's your news around the world.
What a fun hidden treasure. And your business news, a new study finds more Americans got their stimulus checks and went shopping. And some key players in the GameStop stock surge will testify before Congress today. Here's your Good Morning Utah business report. Spurred by stimulus checks sent out late last year, Americans went shopping in January. The Commerce Department says retail sales last month soared, jumping 5.3%. That turned around 3 straight months of declines during the holiday season. And Congress today will hear from some of the key players in the recent Reddit-fueled surge in stocks like GameStop. Hedge fund managers, the chief executives of Reddit, and the online broker Robinhood, as well as a YouTube streamer, all expected to testify before a House committee today. Plus, the coronavirus pandemic may have shifted jobs away from cities and into the suburbs. Payroll processor Gusto tells USA Today it has seen large urban areas lose hundreds of thousands of jobs, while the burbs have gained some. Overall, the U.S. is still down about 10 million jobs since the start of the pandemic. And finally, Australians aren't seeing news on their Facebook newsfeed. The social network stripping news articles in an ongoing fight over Australia's plans to force online services to pay news providers for their content. And that's your Good Morning Utah business report.
New this morning, the CDC has Utah tied for last place for lowest vaccination rates in the country. You can see Utah here in light green showing that vaccination rate. Utah, Georgia now tied at 9.8% of our population have gotten at least 1 dose. 3.6% of our citizens have gotten a second dose in Utah versus 3.8% in Georgia. Alaska has the highest rate with 17.9% of people there getting at least 1 dose.
And the recent winter weather we're seeing delaying COVID-19 vaccines in southern Utah, but not from the storms you'd think of. The Southwest Utah Public Health Department says the vaccines intended for today's immunization clinic that were canceled were delayed from severe weather out of state. Today's clinic was canceled, and the health department now contacting people to reschedule.
Also in Southwest Utah, health teams say vaccinations are behind, so they're opening up more vaccine sites. More than 5,000 appointments went online Wednesday morning, scheduled for the first 3 weeks of March. Health teams are worried the elderly are being left behind in this race to vaccinate.
We're estimating that we probably haven't even reached half of the amount of our 70-plus seniors that want to get vaccinated. We so far have given over 20,000 first-shot vaccines in our district. That includes all the priority groups.
To get an appointment in southwestern Utah, go to swuhealth.org. Click on your county.
And new this morning, doctors across the country are seeing more kids sick with a rare side effect of COVID-19, and the conditions are only getting more severe. The condition is called the multi-system inflammatory syndrome in children, or MIS-C. The CDC is reporting roughly 2,000 cases here in the U.S. with 30 deaths. And while those numbers may seem low, the symptoms are becoming more severe, and doctors don't know why. Right now, the nation's first long-term study on that syndrome is being conducted at Primary Children's Hospital right here in Utah.
Happening today, we'll get an update from Governor Cox on Utah's COVID crisis and vaccination progress. That press conference begins at 10 a.m. We'll cover the conference live, both on air and online at abc4.com.
And in southern Utah, authorities are searching for someone who spray painted a concrete wall at Bryce Canyon National Park over the weekend. Look at these photos here the park posted on their Facebook page. This is along the Mossy Cave Trail just off of Highway 12. If you know who vandalized that wall, call the park. Their number's on your screen.
On Utah's Capitol Hill, Senate lawmakers approved a bill that would allow students to take mental health days from school. House Bill 81 would consider a mental health day as a valid excuse for an absence at school, just like a sick day. The bill passed with unanimous support, little debate. It moves to the governor's desk for final approval.
I would have loved those as a high school kid. Mental health
day? You need one every once in a while. We all need a mental health day.
If we had 10 of them, I would have used all 10 of them. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And, you know, a lot of us may have had that mental health day yesterday dealing with those traffic accidents that we had. But luckily, nothing like we've had yesterday out there today, which is great news. It's been nice and easy for me as well, tracking our traffic today.
Easier on everybody.
Oh, well, that's true. Ski report, though, look at this. Everybody pretty much is reporting new snow. Bases are just going up now, which is awesome to see. Look at Alta's base, 136. They're still close. We're going to have to keep them close for now until we hear otherwise. But 136-inch base, where did winter come from all of a sudden, because it did not look good for Alta for a while. St. George, 53 today, 62 tomorrow, just quiet, dry, sunny for the Wasatch Front. AM snow showers tomorrow with a new storm system coming in, then a break, then rain showers tomorrow night, then snow, accumulating snow as well, guys, on Saturday with a few inches expected. A couple of different accidents, I-84, I-15 interchange, very minor stuff. There is a new one here at the I-80, I-15 southbound split. And what is it doing with regards to traffic? Well, our traffic camera is showing that it looks still A-OK right now. It might not even be on top of the accident either. It might just be really close to it. So along I-15 and what you're seeing in terms of drive times, everything looks just fine from Provo to Salt Lake.
Nice, looking good. Don't forget, we'd love to see your baby photos. We celebrate every morning here on Good Morning Utah somebody's birthday. Let's have it be your family member. Email us, news@abc4.com. Throw baby birthday in that subject line.
All right, before we let you go, the Easter season started yesterday with Ash Wednesday. That marks the start of Lent. And fast food restaurants are hoping to use the holiday to draw people in. So if you're not familiar, during Lent, you're not supposed to eat meat on Fridays and holy days of obligation. So fast food restaurants are ramping up their seafood menus, right? That's why they have fish on Fridays.
Interesting.
Yes. So McDonald's has been a popular Lent option with its filet of fish sandwich. Some places adding other options for Easter, like Arby's. They've got another one here from, I believe, let me look down at my list, Carl's Jr. beer battered fish sandwich.
This seems like just a much nicer version of the chicken sandwich wars, you know? It's like a much more temperate, let's all be kind to each other and eat some fish.
Well, you think so, but Wendy's is, I'm sure, going to be all over this on Twitter.
Yes.
They usually are.
Oh, you got Del Taco's adding 2 new things, honey mango crisp jumbo shrimp tacos.
This all sounds
so
really
those
good.
are those right there. Just a couple of options there for you.
Delicious.
Thanks for making us part of your morning.
More local news coming up on Utah's CW30.